All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, we are going to start from topic two now, right? Before we go, you need to understand the terms, right? The terms that you are going to come across during the course of the topic, right? So we call it a word bank, word and the meanings, right? For example, yeah, you can call it glosses if you will, right? As you like it. Yeah, survey, survey. Sometimes it can come out in the matching columns. You know what I mean by matching column, right? They will say an investigation using a questionnaire. Then column B, there could be different options. If you don't know that the answer is survey, then you're gonna get it wrong, right? That is why it's very good to know this stuff. Sometimes they can give you the kind of a question that got a blanks, right? Missing word. Oh yeah. Fill in the missing word. So if you don't know what it is, then you're gonna be looking at the ceiling because this type of question is very difficult to answer. So the more you know the terms, the better for you. Hello. Yes. Hello, are you with us? I'm surprised today you are sitting so far away. Oh, you don't want to be on the air. Okay, no problem. Right. Okay. Now, a survey is an investigation using a questionnaire. Guys, let's do quickly because time is against us, right? Yeah, we've lost a great deal of time. Right. So you use a survey, you use a questionnaire to do a survey. How many of you have seen a questionnaire here before? Everyone. Everyone, right? Okay. A survey, a questionnaire, sorry to say, is a document, right, that contains series of questions that you will have the respondent to uh, answer, to put a response to or to answer for you. And those questions are questions of interest that when you analyze the responses, you can be able to make what we call evidence-based decision. Have you heard about that before? When we say evidence-based decision, yes, sir, or informed decision. Yeah, yeah. So when you make your decision, you will not doubt because based on evidence, you already know what you are doing. So that is why it's very important for you to do a survey. For example, if you have a business, perhaps a new business, you want to establish whether people will be interested in buying your product. What you gonna do, right? You do a survey, right? From your survey, from the responses that you will collect from your respondent, then you can be able to decide. Okay, okay. Bayakut, you know what I'm talking about. Then former, here we are talking in terms of being professional or a business-like manner, right? If somebody asks you to behave in a formal way, in a professional way, right? Like you now, you must sit in a formal way like a student. Right. Okay. So you know what I'm talking about. Right. Let me see who is not sitting formally like a student here. Okay. You are all sitting formally like a student. It tells me that you are all disciplined. Right. Okay. Hey, you got something today. I could see you covering your face now. You got, hey, I must apply for one. Am I eligible? Are they going to give me one? Solely for students, man. Yes. Okay. Informal. So it's an opposite, right? In a manner that deal with friends. For example, the way you should address me, talk to me will be different from where you are talking to your peers, right? Hello, who is this at the back? What is happening? Are you sick? Are you okay? Hiding from the light. Okay. Then recipient. What do we mean by recipient? The person receiving the questionnaire. Good. The person that is going to provide response to the questionnaire is the recipient, right? But in the literary, okay, let me know. In the literary form of it, recipient could be beneficiary. But what we mean here, in terms contextually, here we are referring to somebody that is receiving the questionnaire. Does it? That also means the person that receives. Yeah. Okay. Now, objectives is about what you want to achieve or accomplish. Your goal, right? There is something that you want to achieve. That is why you are sitting here. Otherwise, you could have utilized this period to go and look for money. Now you are sitting here, there's something that you want to achieve. Perhaps that piece of paper that you're going to be given called certificate. That ticket is like a meat ticket that can qualify you to apply for a job that when people look at it, they say you are competent, you are qualified, right? So otherwise, you couldn't have been sitting here because you got the objective of achieving not necessarily only that paper, achieving the something of the knowledge, skills, and attitude. Like I used to tell my students, you are not just here to learn, right? Besides knowledge and skills, you need to behave well. Because if your attitude is not right, those three must be complete. When you complete or when you graduate from here, perhaps you can have a cum laude, no cum laude, distinctions. But if your attitude is not right, nobody gonna like to work with you. Do you understand? So we must learn how to behave well, right? Then methodology. Methodology, this my son's big, a big word, but it's not a big word. It's from the word method, right? A system or way of completing a certain activities. Methodology means a lot of methods. Yeah, it's a way, it's a system. For example, if I'm giving you a job, I say, what type of methodology are you going to apply? Like a big word for it. Right. Yeah. So you can be able to tell me, okay, this is how I'm going to. I'm trying to ask you, where did you get that scissors? Why are you putting scissors in your pocket? Okay, keep it away. Okay, you use it to make some. All right. Then it's a system or a way of completing the certain activities. Now, what about the pilot test? The pilot. You know, when we say pilot, you want to be a pilot. Pilot. Pilot can be like three tests, like a tester. Yeah. Pilot is tester. It's a test run. Yeah. Yeah. When you are test running something, you are piloting it. Guys, do you understand it? Yeah. You say you just try it to see whether it's gonna work, right? Yeah. That is what we mean by this. Joke mail. What is joke mail? Joke mail. Sounds like it's a way of advertising. Yeah, for example, you see people putting in papers or can put it on screen and all the people come to you. Most especially this one is very common. They put it in your post box, your letter box. Your post, wipers. Yeah. So that is what we are talking about. How many of you have seen that before? Yes. You've seen that before. Yeah, yeah. Just a joke, man. You discard it, throw it away. Right. Then confidential. What is confidential? Keep secret. Top problem. You must keep secret. Some people have got a basket mouth. You know basket mouth. Yes, sir. They can't keep secret. Yeah. When you tell them something, it's like you go to SABC to broadcast it. Themselves, it's a broadcast. They are broadcasting houses. They don't know how to keep secret. But in business, you must know how to keep secret. Otherwise, somebody can take your idea. Huh? Take your idea, leverage your idea, then you remain nothing. With nothing, I mean. Then sample. What do we mean by sample? Sample. No, it's not a test run. Yeah, you can test run. You can test run on the sample. Based on that, you take a sample, you test run on it. Right. Okay. A sample, guys, listen. Let me give you a hypothetical example. Right. For example, if I want to know whether students of TVET colleges they are happy with the way in which they are paid, they are receiving their money, NSFAS, right? We call it NSFAS. If I want to know whether you are happy with the system, right? It's a good survey, right? For one to be able to know whether you are happy, right, with the current system. Now, if I say, if I want to establish that, which means I want to involve the whole student. Hello, she's sleeping. That means I want to involve now the whole student in South Africa, right? The whole student in South Africa. So for me to do that survey, where is that noise coming from? From her. What is that? No, I'm not joking. What is that? That noise. Remove it, please. What is wrong with you? Guys, listen. Did you see how we set up ourselves for failure? Huh? You see what I'm doing now? I'm introducing a new topic with new concept. It herself is putting earphone, listening to music. Right? You see, we mustn't do that. It's dangerous. Okay. So guys, what we mean by sample is this. If I want to know the perception, let me refine it like this. The perception of TVET student in South Africa, right, regarding the payment of the system being used to pay out NSFAS student, right. I want to know the perception of the whole TVET college students in South Africa. It will be difficult for me to give all of the questionnaires, right? For me to know their perception, I need to distribute questionnaires to them, right? And listen. So it will not be easy for me. What I will do is I will look for a certain segment, sample of the students that got the same characteristics with the population. So the whole student in South Africa can be regarded as the population, right? In the research. So it will not be easy for me to go around. So what I will do is that I can select some schools, some colleges. So then I will give the questionnaires to students from those colleges to respond. So that those colleges that are selected, which got the same characteristics like the whole student in South Africa, is referred to as the sample. Does it make sense to you? But ordinarily, in the literary sense of it, you know what a sample means, right? When you want to buy a perfume, right? They got small bottles, like a sample that they give to you for you to test, right? The perfume they are giving it to you is the same thing like the original, right? But this one is just for a test, smaller one. Yeah. But in survey, we call it a small group that represent a much larger group, which is the population. For example, if I decide to choose West Coast College and the College of Cape Town, College of Cape Town, West Coast College will act as a sample, right, to represent the host TVET college student in South Africa. Does it make sense to you? Right. Now, raw data. What is raw data? The result or answers of the questionnaires. If I give you a questionnaire to complete, your answers that you put completed, your answers to the questionnaire is raw. So what is going to happen? What do we do to raw food? We need to cook it, process it, right? Then when you process the responses, the respective responses, then you can be able to come to a conclusion whereby one can be able to make an informed decision based on the responses. Does it make sense to you? Right. Then literacy. What is literacy? The ability to read and write. So literacy applied to any language, right? For example, if you can read and write in Afrikaans, you are very literate in that. Do you understand? If you are educated in Afrikaans, I cannot say that you are illiterate, right? Yeah, you can be, based on the content. Yeah. So close questions. This one is very important. Close questions. What do we mean by close questions in the questionnaire? Elections only have a certain amount of votes. You can't get above it. Like if I say how much the score cost, five people only answer, not eight. Like when we say close questions, it's like your hands are tied. You know, in English, when somebody say my hands are tied, that means I can't do beyond, I can't do otherwise. So what close questions means is that they will give you certain options, right? You cannot respond beyond those options, right? That is one. The second one is it can either be yes or no. It can either be yes or no. Do you understand what I mean? Right. Be laughing. We are doing something serious here. Okay. Open, no, don't worry. Let's finish it. Right. Then open questions. What is open questions? You said that the period is over. What is open question? Yeah. You see? You, hello. What is open question? You see? The lost. You see? Remember that you are on the air. When people watch this, they will hear your voice say your head is sore. Right? Okay. Close questions. Close questions is reverse of yeah, open questions. Right. You're quite right. Open questions is a reverse of closed questions. Right? Here you are allowed to comment. You can say anything you like. Right? You can give your own opinion.